Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone in our Tuesday evening discussion on Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinim Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so once again, welcome everyone for our Bhagavad Gita study. So last time, what did we discuss?
Arjun Vishad Yoga, chapter 1.
Yes, so we started chapter 1, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, Sanya Nirikshan, observing the armies on the battlefield. So what was the theme of last discussion? Anybody remember what was the overall theme?
The shortcomings of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra.
Yes, so the shortcomings of Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. So that's what we were talking about. So what are those symptoms, right? The syndrome which they have, kind of what disease they have. So we talked about various shortcomings of Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. So Dhritarashtra shortcomings are described based on first verse of Bhagavad Gita. There we can understand what kind of shortcomings Dhritarashtra is representing. So his problem is over-attachment. He's not able to make a right decision. He's not able to correct his own son, Duryodhana. So that is over-attachment. Because of his over-attachment with Duryodhana, he is ready to do anything to please Duryodhana. Second is promoting nepotism. Basically, he wants his own son to become the king, inherit the kingdom, even without having the merits. Duryodhana does not have the sufficient qualification to be the king, but still he wants his own son to become the king. And then he separated Pandavas from the family lineage. The family lineage originally is they all are Kauravas coming from Kuru dynasty. So, but he separated Pandavas from that family lineage. He is asking, what did my sons do and what did the sons of Pandu do? So my sons are Kauravas and they are Pandavas, right? So separating them from the overall family lineage. Now, Duryodhana, what were the bad qualities which Duryodhana represent? What are his symptoms? From verse 3, we understand he is pointing at the mistake of Dronacharya. He is telling Dronacharya that, oh, you had trained Drishtadyumna, and now see, he is standing in opposite to us and he has arranged this military army in this nice fashion. So he is pointing at mistake of Drona, his kind of fault finding, not understanding what are my own mistakes, what kind of mistakes I have committed, and just focusing on others' mistakes, others' faults. He is not trying to understand now what should I do now, rather than asking for guidance, asking for suggestions. He is telling his guru. Second one, he is overconfident, right? That we see from text number 8 when he's telling, see all these warriors which are assembled on my side, they are always the winner. Right? They have been winning the wars so often. So he's thinking once a winner is always a winner. So that is a recent event trap or winning too much trap. So that is overconfident. And then the another bad quality which Duryodhana represent, as mentioned in text number 9, he is saying, see all these people, they are ready to sacrifice their own lives for me, for my purpose, for my agenda. They are ready to sacrifice their lives. So basically he is thinking these people will do anything for me. And no matter what kind of things I do, they are always there in my support. जैसे आजकल लोग बोलते हैं ना, स्पेशली इन यूथ स्लोगन, जैसे अरे मेरा भाई है, मेरे लिए कुछ भी कर जाएगा. So that is Duryodhana mentality. So people take support from various people who has some power, some influence, thinking, oh, they will support me in whatever I'm trying to do. So these were all the symptoms of Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, what we talked about last time. Now we'll move forward from text number 10 onwards. So text number 10 also, briefly we talked about that. Here, what Duryodhana is saying, our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas that's protected by Bhima is limited, is measurable. So he is saying, Aprayaptam tasmadkam balam Bhishma bhirakshitam, Prayaptam tvad meshetam balam Bhima bhirakshitam. So he's saying our army is immeasurable. We are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, who is very powerful. Whereas on the other side, Pandava's army, their strength is measurable, Prayaptam. On the other side, he is mentioning only the name of Bhima. He could not think of any other name. But this verse is also known as Saraswati Vakya. So Saraswati is kind of changing the meaning, where Duryodhana is using the word Aprayaptam for his army. And his mindset is he's thinking immeasurable, right? We are such a huge army, immeasurable. But the another meaning of Aprayaptam can also be thought as not sufficient. And Pandava's army, he is describing as Prayaptam, that's it's limited, it's measurable. But the another meaning is Prayaptam means sufficient. So their strength is sufficient, whereas our strength is insufficient. That is a meaning which Saraswati is driving here. So Duryodhana has too much confidence on Bhishma's strength. Yes, he is very powerful and he has a boon, right? He will die when he desires. Ichha mrityu vardhan. So he is thinking, oh, Bhishma is very powerful. He has never been defeated. And on the other side, who could remember only Bhima? Why? He could not see Arjuna there. He did not see Krishna sitting on the chariot of Arjuna, but he was able to think of Bhima only. Because from the very childhood, Duryodhana had been defeated too many times by Bhima. In Gurukul also, or while they are regular playing also, when they are doing any plays, Bhima will easily defeat Duryodhana. Bhima ne usko kitni baar patak ke mara. Even though Duryodhana had tried to feed poison to Bhima, still he came out of that river with more strength. Actually, he gained the strength of 10,000 elephants. So from the very childhood, Duryodhana had a big problem with Bhima. He had been defeated by Bhima so many times. And it's a journal mentality or a journal scenario. Whenever there is any big incident in our life, we remember that and we forget small things. And so how many people, they remember 9/11, right? When this Twin Tower was blasted, and then in Bombay, there were blasts on 26/11. So all these big events people will remember, and the small incidents people may forget. So for Duryodhana, this is also a very big incident, being defeated by Bhima so many times. So he is just thinking of Bhima on the other side. That's why he is using the name of Bhima only. He could not see the Supreme Lord, Trilokinath Krishna, sitting on the chariot of Arjuna. And Duryodhana also had one more problem here. He is too much want to be in the limelight. He want to be the center stage, right? He has another trap of center stage trap. I am too important. I am too powerful. Who can be better than me? So that is the mindset of Duryodhana. And how Krishna came on the side of Arjuna, we all know that the pastime from this Mahabharata, when both Arjuna and Duryodhana, they went to Krishna for help. Now this war is going to happen, that is for certain. So they both went to ask for help from Krishna. Duryodhana arrived first. Krishna was sleeping at that time. So Duryodhana came and he thought, why should I sit at the feet of Krishna? I am the king. So he went and sat behind the head of Krishna. Then later, Arjuna also came and Arjuna sat at the feet of Krishna. When Krishna opened his eyes, he saw Arjuna first and asked, what brings you here? Why have you come here? For what purpose you have come here? And Duryodhana said, I am also here. So then Krishna asked both, so what is the purpose of you coming here? They both said, we have come here to ask for your help in this war. So Krishna gave two options, that on one side, I will be alone and I will not even pick up a weapon. I will not fight. At the most, I can be as a mentor. I can just give some counsel, some guidance. On the other side, it will be my whole army, my Narayani Sena. And he gave Arjuna the first choice, that Arjuna should ask first, because I saw Arjuna first and he is also younger also. So Arjuna was thinking, and Arjuna said, I did not come here to ask help from your army. I came to ask help from you. So I just need you. You be my mentor, you be my guide. And actually, you drive my chariot. You be my chariot driver. Who can be a better chariot driver than you? You are driving the whole universe. So you just guide my chariot in this battlefield. And Duryodhana became very happy, because Duryodhana was thinking, oh, what if Arjuna asked for the army? Then all my purpose will be spoiled. And he became very happy in his heart when Arjuna asked for Krishna to be on his side. And Duryodhana said, okay, that's fine. He is my younger brother. And if he wants you, that's okay. You can be on his side and I will be just satisfied, happy with your army. So Duryodhana took the whole army. So this is how Krishna came on the side of Arjuna as the chariot driver. Now, what is the mentality, another mentality which Duryodhana is representing here, right? When he is saying, our army, our strength is immeasurable. This is the mentality of most materialistic people in this world. In the modern world, materialist people, they think, I have so much power. I don't need God. We can do everything and we can control everything. But ultimately, all our efforts, all our actions to control, to lord over the nature, they're all frustrated. There are in every field, that is example. So for food, people use the artificial methods of growing the food, artificial growth hormones, hybrid seeds, the genetically modified seeds. So they may have tried to solve the problem of food, but what it has done, it has led to more problems, more ecological problems. The loss of land, loss of water resources, leading to so much pollution, leading to so many diseases. Then health system. People think, oh, modern medical facilities, they can save the life. We have so many big gadgets now. Yes, they may be helpful to prolong our life duration for a few years. People may live few more years on the strength of eating some pills. But it's also, even though our medical facilities are increasing and improving, but more and more diseases are coming up. Right? We just recently COVID-19, who had thought of this small virus can cause so much harm? All over the world, more than millions of people have died. And more stress than ever before. So that is more psychological diseases, psychological problems. And then weapon and modern technology. People think, oh, we have developed so many modern technology. We have so many grander and grander weapons. We can control the nature. But then comes some tsunami, some hurricane, some earthquake, and nobody can do anything about that. All at the most, what we can do with our modern technology is just raise an alarm, raise a siren that everybody please vacate this area. Right? That's the most we can do. So no matter how much power somebody may have, how much control somebody may have, you cannot overpower the nature. You cannot overpower the will of the Lord. Here Duryodhana was thinking, oh, I can overpower this army of Pandavas, and he forget to actually understand that Krishna, who is the master of all the yogas, he is sitting there. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. So that will come with the last verse of Bhagavad Gita. Wherever there is the Yogeshwar Krishna, wherever there is Dhanurdhar Arjuna, there is always victory. So he was thinking that our army is immeasurable and we will emerge victorious. But this verse indirectly is pointing towards that Pandavas' army, their strength is enough, prayaptam, whereas the strength of Duryodhana's side is aprayaptam, which is not sufficient. Now, text number 11. In this verse, we see in verse number 10, what Duryodhana was doing was he was glorifying Bhishma, right? Our army is protected by Bhishma. So, next verse, he's telling everybody, all of you now must give your full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the ranks of our army. So he's saying, all of you take your strategic positions and support Grandfather Bhishma. सब लोग पितामह भीष्मा को support करो. Make sure he is not harmed at all. So just in the previous verse, he said Bhishma is so powerful and we are protected by Bhishma. Now he's telling everybody, you all support Bhishma. So why this immediate sudden change in that way? Because he's thinking, oh, if I am praising Grandfather Bhishma, then all the other warriors, they will think we are all less important or we are not important at all. So they may lose their enthusiasm. So in a very diplomatic way, right? He's very expert in politics, diplomacy. So in a very diplomatic way, now he's trying to adjust the situation by using these words. So he said, yes, Bhishma is undoubtedly very powerful, but now he's an old man. So we must all be very careful in protecting him from all sides so that people from other side do not take advantage of his weakness, of his soft corner. So on the other side, one may also argue this point. See, generally, we say serving the devotee is better than serving God. भगवान को सेवा करने से भगवान के भक्तों का सेवा करना, that's even more important. So now here also, Duryodhana is engaging everybody in service of Bhishma. He is telling everybody, now you all support Bhishma, you protect Bhishma from every side. So isn't Duryodhana doing great in that way? Because Bhishma is a very wonderful devotee and he is asking everybody to support Bhishma. So isn't Duryodhana doing good there actually? So we have to understand what is Duryodhana's mindset. He's trying to do this so-called service, right? What is his real purpose behind this? He is looking for his own agenda. He's looking for his own sense gratification through Bhishma and through all these other people who have assembled. See, a true devotee, he serves God and he serves the devotees of God for their satisfaction and for their pleasure, not for his own satisfaction, his own pleasure. So Duryodhana never tried to please Bhishma or follow his words, his instruction. He always tried to please himself by using other people. So here, text number 11, he's telling everybody that you all support Bhishma, just trying to adjust the situation so other people do not feel less important. Now, next verse onwards, it directly shows the symptoms or the signs for the victory of Pandavas. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. So Bhishma, even though Duryodhana is speaking too much in these previous verses here, but Bhishma did not give any verbal response. He's trying to glorify Bhishma also now, but Bhishma did not even give any response to Duryodhana. He just blew his conch shell. And what is the purpose here of blowing the conch shell by Bhishma? So first of all, he blew the conch shell just out of compassion for Duryodhana, to cheer the fearful heart of Duryodhana. Even though Duryodhana is doing too much talking, he is showing confidence from outside, but inside the heart, Bhishma is able to understand that how much fearful he is, right? How much nervous or anxious he is. So just out of compassion for Duryodhana, to cheer him up that yes, I am on your side, I have come here to fight, now I am standing on your side, and I will not spare any pains in fulfilling my duty of fighting. So just to give that assurance, he is blowing this conch shell. But now let's look from the other perspective also. So the conch shell represents a symbol of dharma. Lord Vishnu holds these four things in his hands: Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padam. So Shankh and Padam, these are the signs of dharma and peace. And the Chakra and Gada, they are the symptoms of war. That if to protect dharma, the Lord may even pick up the weapons also. So conch shell is a symbol of dharma. Indirectly, here it is informed that whatever Duryodhana is trying to do, no matter how big army Duryodhana has, but there is no chance of victory for him. Because the Supreme Lord Krishna is on the side of Pandavas, and wherever Krishna is, there is dharma. So dharma is on the side of Pandavas, so there is no chance of victory for Duryodhana. And after Duryodhana had spoken so much, Bhishma and Drona did not speak anything at all. Whereas on the other side, when Yudhishthira came to meet Bhishma before this war is now going to start, both the armies have come standing face to face. So at that time, Yudhishthira came to Bhishma and Drona and offered his obeisances to them. At that time, both Bhishma and Drona spoke to Yudhishthira and blessed him. Vijay Bhav, right? May you become victorious. And they never gave this type of blessing to Duryodhana. They did not even utter a single word when Duryodhana is doing all this talking. So that's also another sign of victory for the Pandavas. And they both, Bhishma and Dronacharya, they both revealed their secret to Yudhishthira and Arjuna, that how we can be defeated, in what situation, in what circumstances we can be defeated. So moving to text number 13. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. So now, after Bhishma blew his conch shell, everybody else also started blowing their conch shells, and various other instruments started blowing as a symptom of beginning of this war. So there are generally different instruments based on different occasions. Right, when in temple, when the darshan open, before the temple curtain open, there is a conch shell blown. What is the purpose of blowing that conch shell? That the Lord's entry is going to happen and everybody become alert. Right, your mind or your senses are distracted to different things. Now bring your attention here. Lord is going to appear. Lord is going to enter. So that is the purpose of blowing the conch shell in the temple. And on a railway station, you all may have experienced when the train is about to arrive on the platform, or the train is about to leave the platform, a loud whistle is blown. Right? What is the purpose of that? So people can either get on the train or get down from the train. So जिसको जाना है वो ट्रेन में चढ़ जाओ, जिसको यहीं पर रहना वो ट्रेन से उतर जाओ. And clear the railway lines, clear that pathway. So nobody is harmed in that way. So that also to alert the people. So the whistle is blown. So in different situation, different instruments are used for different purpose, and different music instrument actually they represent particular mode, either mode of goodness or passion or ignorance. So for example, Saraswati Devi plays on veena, right, or sitar. That is mode of goodness. That music is mode of goodness. Now Lord Shiva plays Damaru while doing Tandava at the time of Pralay. And the sound of Damaru is considered to invoke the mode of ignorance at the time of destruction, because destruction is the sign of mode of ignorance. But at this time, when the destruction, the Pralay takes place, Lord Shiva is very angry. And he is playing Damaru and doing this Tandav Nritya. Why is Lord Shiva angry at that time? Because he is angry that all these people, all these jivas, they have wasted their lives. Even after getting this human form of life, they have not utilized it. And now everything will be over and they have to come back again here. So that is Lord Shiva's reason of playing the Damaru, the Tandav Nritya, and his being angry. And then Lord Krishna plays flute. Right? He is expert in playing flute. Not Hariprasad Chaurasia. It's Lord Krishna, the expert musician or the expert player on the flute. And when he plays flute, even the animals get attracted. Right? All the cows, the peacocks. So all these animals get attracted. So here, these different instruments are listed here that they are into different modes. And same way, there are so many other musical instruments which are to evoke the mood of passion. Now, all these music instruments which are listed here, the bugles, the conch shells, the trumpets, the drums, they are all sounded to evoke the mode of passion. Because now this war is going to happen, to evoke this passion among all these warriors. All these different instruments have been blown. Now the text number 14. Now this is the first time entry of the hero which is going to take place. So who is the hero of this Bhagavad Gita? So Lord Krishna and Arjuna, they are the kind of hero of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the verse where first time Arjuna and Krishna are shown through this verse of Bhagavad Gita. So on the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental counsels. Tata shveter hairyukte mahati syandane sthito madhava pandavaschaiva divya shankha pradham dutuhu. So now Krishna and Arjuna are mentioned here that they blew their conch shells. So up to this point, we should understand that Sanjay was answering Dhritarashtra's question, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do? Right. So up to text number 10 and 11, he was describing that. But now onwards, Sanjay is going to tell what the sons of Pandu did. Earlier, he was describing what his son did. So now he mentions the name of Arjuna and Krishna together. First of all, God cannot be separated from his devotees, and devotee cannot be separated from God. Like the sun cannot be separated from the sunshine. So he's mentioning the name of Krishna and the name of Arjuna together. And when he is talking about Krishna, now Sanjay is filled with ecstasy. As we say, sometimes the face is mirror of mind, but Dhritarashtra is blind. He cannot see Sanjay's face. So by looking at Sanjay's face, he cannot see his ecstasy. But Dhritarashtra can feel the ecstasy in voice of Sanjay. Sanjay is having that deep joy while talking about Krishna and Arjuna. And Dhritarashtra is able to sense that ecstasy and joy. And the first time in this verse, now the hero of Bhagavad Gita enters. We know when any hero enters in the movie or any play, there is some special effects, some loud music, some special action entry or something. But here, just imagine Krishna is the hero of this Bhagavad Gita. And how is Krishna shown here? He is seen holding the reins of a chariot as a driver of that chariot. Just imagine the Supreme Lord, who is full of all opulences, full of fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, renunciation. He is full of all these opulences. And what is he doing? He is holding the reins of the horses, working as a chariot driver. Now, as a chariot driver, his duty is in the morning. He have to get up before everybody else gets up. Sarathi rathi se pehle uthta hai. He gets the horses ready. He brings them in front of the rathi. And then at the night, when everybody goes to sleep, the rathi goes to sleep. Now the chariot driver, he has to take care of everything. He has to take care of the horses. He have to put the chariot on side. He have to feed the horses. And then he will go to take rest. And during the war, the whole day, he has to take the chariot wherever the chariot driver want to go, wherever the rathi want to go. And there is so much of war cries happening, so much of noise is there. He cannot hear what the chariot driver is trying to tell him. So there is a code word language. Right? He says, okay, if you want me to go on the right side, so hit your foot on my right shoulder. If you want me to go on the left side, hit your foot on my left shoulder. If you want me to go straight, hit me in the middle of the back. If you want me to go fast, hit it twice. So like that, Arjuna, whenever he want to indicate Krishna which side to go, where to go, he will hit accordingly. So that is what role Krishna is playing. He is accepting the kicks of his devotee on his back. He's serving his devotee in that way. So that is how the vision of this hero of Bhagavad Gita is portrayed here. And there is a very beautiful story, very beautiful pastime, from Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had gone to Rangakshetra, he will go to take darshan of Ranganath, and outside the temple there is one Brahmana who is sitting and reading Bhagavad Gita. And as he's reading Bhagavad Gita, the tears are flowing from his eyes. And actually all the other learned Brahmanas, they are laughing at him. Because this Brahmana, he was reading Bhagavad Gita, but he was not very learned. He was not very expert in reciting the shlokas. And he will read the shlokas wrong also. The words he will read wrong. And he does not know the meaning of every word. Kare Gita avataran, ashtadhyay pade, Ashuddha Patan, Loka Kare Upahas. So people are making fun of him because he is reading all the 18th chapter, but he is pronouncing the shlokas wrong. He does not know the meaning. Shabdarth nahi jani. So in that way, when the Brahmanas are making fun of him, he still did not stop reading Bhagavad Gita. So people will make fun of everybody. They will not spare anybody. People made fun of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati when he was giving Brahmanical initiation to people born in non-Brahmana families. People criticized Srila Prabhupada for preaching in the Western world and making these hippies into Vaishnavas. So people will make fun. Who are we? So devotee has to go through all these situations. He has to deal with the criticism. He has to deal with all the mockery of the people. So here this Brahmana also, he is reciting Bhagavad Gita. Avishta hoye Gita padi. So he is absorbed in his reading of Bhagavad Gita. He doesn't care what other people are thinking of him, what other people are laughing at him. Because his concept was, let me have my inner spiritual strength. And as a result, what happened? He was feeling ecstasy. Hair was standing on end. The tears were flowing from his eyes. Body was trembling. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart was also overjoyed by seeing this situation of Brahmana. Dekhi anandit hoela Mahaprabhur man. Mahaprabhu ka man anandit ho gaya usko is sthiti mein dekhkar. So Prabhupada writes, Krishna is not pleased by just proper recitation of verses, but Krishna is bhavagrahi. It's not the question of recitation, but it's a question of devotion. Sometimes we get too much hung up with, oh, I am reciting so wonderfully. So it's not about perfect recitation. It's about the devotion in the heart. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, what kind of message, what kind of meaning have you understood from this, that you are feeling such ecstasy? Kona arth jani, eta sukh hoye. तुम्हें इतना सुख किस लिए हो रहा है? क्या समझ लिया तुमने इससे? क्या अर्थ जान लिया? And what is the Brahmana say? Brahmana says, Murakhami, I am a fool number one. Shabdarth nahi jani. I do not know the meaning of these words. Shuddha Ashuddha Gita padi. I am just reciting sometime with mistakes also. But all I am doing is just fulfilling the instructions of my Guru. Guru Agya Mani. Murkhami, Shabdarth nahi jani, Shuddha Ashuddha Gita padi, Guru Agya Mani. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy and he embraced that Brahmana, because that is the essence of humility. Right? Until we are ready to say, Murkhami, I am a fool number one, spiritual progress is far, far away actually. So Brahmana said, I cannot read Gita, I say the words wrong. But all I see is when I open the pages of Bhagavad Gita, I see Shyamasundra holding on to the reins of the chariot in all pages of Bhagavad Gita. मैं जो भी भगवद गीता का पेज खोलता हूं तो उसमें मुझे सिर्फ भगवान के दर्शन होते हैं जो घोड़े की लगाम को पकड़े हुए हैं, अपने भक्त के सारथी बने हुए हैं. मुझे साक्षात भगवान के इस तरह के दर्शन हो रहे हैं. I just see the Lord in this way on the pages of Bhagavad Gita. So Mahaprabhu became very happy that you have actually understood this real meaning of Gita. Gita Arth Sar. You have understood this real message. So here, this particular verse is now showing the entry of Krishna and Arjuna in this way. because Lord Krishna is pleased by the devotion, not by any other external means, not by any external appearance. So here it is said, actually, if somebody can recite with the perfect pronunciation, or if somebody recite it wrong, but he has sincere devotion, Lord becomes pleased. Actually, there is a story in Guruvayur temple. Somebody is reciting Vishnu Sahasranam, and he was pronouncing one word wrong. The actual mantra is Aprameo Rishikesha Padam Namo Amar Prabhu. So this person, while he reciting, as they are doing the worship, they ask this person who used to come every day that, okay, today you recite this Vishnu Sahasranam as we are doing this puja. And he started reciting, and as he's reciting, he's saying Aprameo Rishikesha Padam Namo Mar Prabhu. Rather than saying Amar Prabhu, he said Mar Prabhu. So this Brahmanas, they become upset. You don't know how to recite. What is the real meaning of this? Lord is Amar Prabhu. He is the Lord of the immortals. And you are saying Padam Namo Mar Prabhu. So you have changed the whole meaning. But this is also right only, actually, because if this person was reciting with full devotion and absorption, and what is the meaning? Amar Prabhu or Mar Prabhu? Amar Prabhu means is the Lord of immortals. Mar Prabhu means he is the Lord of mortals. Both are correct only. Is Lord only the Lord of the immortals, not the Lord of the mortals? So that was also correct only. Because there's another shloka which says, Murkho vadati Vishnaya, Dhiro vadati Vishnave. Murkho vadati Vishnaya, Dhiro vadati Vishnave. Abhyasya phalam tulyam bhavagrahi janardhana. So no matter how somebody is saying, say somebody may say Vishnaya, who does not, he is not expert in Sanskrit. He may say Om Namo Bhagavate, Om Namo Om Vishnave Namah, rather than saying Om Vishnave Namah, somebody may say Om Vishnaya Namah. So Murkho vadati Vishnaya, Dhiro vadati Vishnave. But still, Lord is Bhavagrahi Janardhana. He becomes pleased. Even if somebody is saying by mistake. Because the Sanskrit understanding is, if the Prathama ends in A, then the Chaturthi is Aya. For example, Krishna. Right? So in Prathama, it's end with A, Krishna. So the Chaturthi will be Krishnaya. Om Namo Krishnaya. Vasudeva. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shiva. So Prathama is A, so Om Namo Shivaya. But here, Vishnu, if the Prathama is ending in U, then the Chaturthi becomes away. So it will become Om Vishnave. But still, the Lord is so kind, He's so merciful. Even if somebody out of devotion, he's reciting wrong also, Lord becomes pleased. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, our purpose is to understand the message of Bhagavad Gita, not just the recitation of Bhagavad Gita. And then the transcendental conch shell, which is blown by Krishna and Arjuna, which are mentioned here. It says this particular verse, what it is saying, they blew their transcendental conch shells. Madhava Pandava Sheva Divya Shankho Pradhammatuhu. They blew their transcendental conch shells. So Krishna's and Arjuna's conch shells, they are described as being Divya. And that's also one of the signs of victory of Pandavas. As I said earlier, it says, Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yesham Pakshe Janardhana. Pandavas will emerge victorious because Krishna himself is standing on their side. Now, there are other histories. Whatever this verse is talking about, Krishna is described as Madhava. He is the husband of goddess of fortune. That's why this name Madhava is used. So people run after Lakshmi. Either people want Dhana Lakshmi, Bhagya Lakshmi, Santan Lakshmi. So, but Lakshmi is always in service of the Lord. Lakshmi is always in service of her husband. Wherever her husband is, she will always be there. The same way here, now Lord is present on the side of Pandavas. So the fortune is also going to be on their side. So that is the significance of name Madhava, which is used here. And then the Arjuna's chariot is described as a special chariot drawn by the white horses. So there is a whole background history how Arjuna got this chariot. Right, when the Pandavas were given this Khandavprasth, Arjuna and Krishna went on a walk in Khandavprasth. At that time, Agni Dev came there to asking for help from Arjuna. That please burn up this whole forest. I need to satisfy my appetite. I want to eat up this forest. But whenever I try to consume this forest with my fire, Agni Dev, Indra pours the rain and stops that. So you please help me in consuming this forest. And at that time, Lord Krishna told Agni Dev that you should first give some gifts to Arjuna. You should give some special weapons. And then Agni Dev, with the help of Varuna Dev, he gave the special bow, Gandiva, to Arjuna with 2 quivers also full with arrows. And then Agni Dev himself, he gave that nice chariot drawn by the horses, white horses, to Arjuna. So this is how he had got this special chariot. So all these are kind of details of Mahabharata, but here some special words are used in these verses to indicate all these special significances and the signs of victory of Pandavas. Now the next verse comes very important here in the sense what Krishna and Arjuna. Here simply it says Krishna and Arjuna also blew their conch shell. So next verse, text number 15, it's talking even further details of these conch shells. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Poundram Dadmo Mahashankam Bhimakarma Vrakodaraha. So Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his conch shell named Devadatta. And Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shells called Pondara. So special significance mentioned here. Who blew what conch shell? Right, so the conch shell which is blown by Arjuna and Krishna and Bhima, they are mentioned here. Now, this also verse indicates that the Kauravas are predestined to lose this battle. Because Krishna is the engine of Pandava's army. Even though he is playing the role of a chariot driver, but he is like the engine of this whole army. And that's why Krishna's blowing of the conch shell is the most significant here. His name is first mentioned here, that Krishna blew his conch shell, Panchajanya. So Krishna is the engine of Pandava's army, like the train, right? The train has an engine and then the other compartments, other bogies behind the engine. And when the train starts to move, first the engine makes the sound, engine makes that noise. And then the other bogies starts to move, gad, 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 gad. So the first engine makes sound and then one by one, all the other bogies start with the engine. So same way here, Lord Krishna first made the sound of his conch shell. And behind him, all the other Pandavas, they also blew their conch shells. So if we also keep engine with us, then we can become victorious. And that engine, so for Pandavas at that time, Krishna was personally present as their engine. For us, our engine is the chanting of the holy name, as given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if we keep that engine in our lives, if we stay connected with that engine, then our lives become victorious, our lives become successful. Going into little background details of these conch shells, how Krishna got this Panchajanya conch shell. The story is described in the Puranas that in the spiritual world, see, we know Lord has his conch shell, right? Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padam. So he is always having this conch shell. And in spiritual world, everything is conscious. So even this conch shell, the Padma, everything is conscious. And it says this conch shell once got pride that I am always on the hands of the Lord, and Lord put me to his lotus lips also and blowing his nectar inside me. So this conch shell became little pride. It was cursed by Lakshmi Devi to become a demon. So this conch shell, he became this demon. I think the name Shankhachud or something. So once Krishna was personally present on earth as he go to the ashram of Sandipani Muni to give final Guru Dakshina, Sandipani Muni and his wife asked to bring back their child, right, who had died once earlier when he went for Tirth Yatra at the ocean. So at that time, Krishna decided to bring back the son of his Guru. And when Krishna kind of opened up the old files to see what has happened, to find the clues where he may be, so he find out that he died at Prabhas Kshetra. So Krishna goes there to find him in the ocean. And at the depth of the ocean, he finds this demon, Panchajanya. So this conch who had become a demon. So Krishna finds this demon Panchajanya. So not Shankhachud actually, so Panchajanya only. So this demon Panchajanya, and he kills that demon, and then again he gets that conch shell. So Krishna brings that conch shell back. Now so the story further continues that to find the son of his Guru, Krishna then goes to Samyamanipuri, which is the capital of Yamaraj. And as Krishna arrives at the door, Krishna blows this conch shell. So in the temple, Pujari blows the conch shell to alert everybody that Lord is going to enter. But here Krishna himself, he blew his conch shell announcing his arrival. So I have come here. So hearing the sound of this Panchajanya Shankh, everybody became alert and Yamaraj personally came to receive the Lord. So that is the little history of Panchajanya conch shell. After that, of course, he received the son of his Guru back from Yamaraj and brought him back. But the history about this conch shell, how Krishna received this Panchajanya conch shell. And the message which is conveyed here is the Kauravas are predestined to lose the battle. And the name of Krishna also is mentioned here, Rishikesha. What is the meaning of Rishikesha? Who is the owner of all senses, all the senses of the living entities. Krishna is the owner of all that, and we should engage our senses in the service of the owner of senses. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Engaging our senses in the service of the master of senses, that is bhakti. Because Pandavas have their senses engaged in the service of Krishna, so they will emerge victorious. That is the significance of word Rishikesha used here. So if we want to win over Duryodhana-like mentality, then we need to engage our senses in service of Krishna. Right now, in a materialistic concept of life, we people generally, right, when we say we people in general, they say no to Krishna and they say yes to Maya. We say no to Krishna and we say yes to sense gratification. And as slowly we start to engage our senses in the service of the Lord, then the stage comes that we engage in bhakti also, but at the same time there is sense gratification still continuing. So the stage comes, we say yes to Krishna and also saying yes to Maya. So earlier, There was no to Krishna and yes to Maya. But then slowly we come to a stage, engaging in the process of bhakti, we say yes to Krishna and yes to Maya also. But slowly, as we continue to engage in process of bhakti, we develop knowledge and detachment. And slowly all this propensity of sense enjoyment will go away with the process of bhakti. And the stage will come when we say yes to Krishna and no to Maya. Yes to Krishna, no to sense gratification. So, Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate, engaging our senses in service of Krishna. And in that way, our lives will be successful. And then Arjuna and Bhima are also mentioned here as Dhananjaya and Vrakodara, respectively. Arjuna is mentioned as Dhananjaya because he fetched a lot of wealth from different direction to perform this Ratsuya Yagya. And that's how he had got this name, Dhananjaya. And Arjuna is engaging all that in service of Krishna because this Ratsuya Yagya was performed to glorify Krishna. So all our wealth, when it's engaged in service of Krishna, that is the right use of wealth. And I heard that actually Prabhupada is also referred as Dhananjaya for the same reason, because he utilized all the whatever opulences he received when he built this organization. So many temples are built, so many communities are built, but nothing is for his personal pleasure, everything in service of the Lord. And Bhima also is mentioned here as Vrakodara because Bhima eats ferociously and he performs Herculean tasks. Whatever task Bhima can perform, we cannot even think of those. So all these names and instances are significant here. So Sanjay, by mentioning all these things, he is giving indication to Dhritarashtra that your sons do not stand a chance here. Do not keep your hopes too high. So I think we'll stop here. And in the next verses, finally Arjuna, when he sees both the armies, he will tell Krishna, please take my chariot in the middle of both armies. And when he see all these different warriors standing on the other side, Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, his own brothers and relatives, then he is filled with compassion, filled with bewilderment. And then what does Arjuna say? So we'll talk that in the coming session. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Okay, so we'll open for any questions, comments.
Prabhuji, so you said that when Yudhishthira went to see Bhishma and Drona, they told them how to win,
So,
how to win over them.
right, so they told their weakness because they are standing on the side of Duryodhana, but they are not wishing victory for Duryodhana. They are wishing victory for Pandavas because everybody knows, right? Bhishma, Drona, they all know that Pandavas are on the right path. They are on the side of Dharma. So they did reveal their weakness. Bhishma, not immediately on the first day of this war, but ultimately Bhishma told how he can be killed. That if you bring some woman in front of me, I will not shoot any arrows, I will not pick up my weapon. And in that situation, I can be won over. So indirectly, he was telling that put Shikhandi in front because Shikhandi in previous life, he was a woman, right? Amba. So that was the clue given by Bhishma. And then Dronacharya also told same way that if my son is defeated or he is or killed, that I will give up weapon. So they use that to kind of tell Dronacharya Ashwathama Hatova, that Ashwathama has been killed by using the name of an elephant who was also named Ashwathama. So Dronacharya also gave a clue in that way how he can be defeated. Okay, does that answer your question, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. I was wondering why they would do that, but yeah.
Right, so they are doing that because they want Dharma to win, right? They want Yudhishthira to win. So they blessed him, Vijay Bhav, that may you become victorious, may you emerge victorious.
Yeah. You could have avoided all that bloodshed, right? Because if
they
want
could have, but they had no choice because it was ultimately the decision of the king. So Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, they should have taken that step early, but they were completely blinded out because of their ego and greed. Krishna went there as a peace messenger also earlier to stop this war. Krishna asked, give them 5 villages. They are 5 brothers, just give them 5 villages and they will be happy with that. They will never come back to ask for their kingdom. But Duryodhana was so bent up on not giving anything at all. Duryodhana said, I will not give enough land even to keep a tip of the needle.
Needle on it.
Right? So, because Duryodhana knew how capable Pandavas are, even if I give them 5 villages, they will build a big empire out of that also. So that was the fear of Duryodhana. So he did not want to give them anything at all. And ultimately, that's how this war happened. Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I had a question. So when we say like Yudhishthir, like dharma, so does that dharma mean righteousness in this case?
Dharma means righteousness. Yes, dharma has many forms,
according to the context, the meaning.
Yes.
Like,
So
does it
dharma
also
mean
duty?
right.
Like conch shell, when you said the dharma, the conch shell sounding.
Conch shell represents dharma.
So in that sentence, what is meant by dharma, Prabhuji?
Dharma here is being righteous.
Okay.
Right? There are various qualities of dharma, who is truthful, who is righteous, who is kind to others, who is working for the welfare of others. So all these are the symptoms of qualities of dharma.
Okay.
And ultimate dharma is, of course, to serve the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. Constitutional duty.
Right.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, so nothing from Rahul Prabhu, Ravi Shankar Prabhu.
No, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, just a follow-up. So the conch shell, just building upon Chitramataji's question. So the conch shell itself represents dharma, or the sound that is blown out of the conch shell, and who is blowing that? Because conch shell is blown by.
Right, conch shell is blown by everybody, even Duryodhana, Bhishma, everybody blew the conch shell. So conch shell itself represents, it's a sign of dharma. Okay, so as I said, Lord Vishnu holding those 4 symbols, these 4 symbols have a meaning. So conch shell means dharma, the lotus means peace, and then Gada and Shank, Gada and Chakra represents, the weapons represent that Lord is ready to kill the demoniac people also to protect dharma. So conch shell in itself, it's a sign of dharma. It's a sign of knowledge.
Yeah. And also to your previous answer, can this be seen as that Bhishma Dev or Dronacharya, they, because of their commitment to the throne or commitment to Duryodhana, they chose that over the side of the dharma at the time of the selection. But later on during the war, they realized that this is not going anywhere and it's resulting into a lot of bloodshed. They ended up, or they, after Lord Krishna shows that I can end this war anytime, they gave it as a clue that bring.
So there are multiple things here we have to understand. Bhishma and Drona, they were on the side of Duryodhana out of obligation in first place, because they have been drawing their salary and their all that from the kingdom, right? And Bhishma had taken a vow to protect the throne of Hastinapur. No matter who is sitting on that throne, I will see the image of my father in that person. So that is Bhishma's vow. So they are bound by their vows, even though it may be going in the wrong direction, but they are just holding on to their vows. They considered their vows to be more important at that time. Now, during the war, Bhishma and Drona, of course, they want Pandavas to be victorious because they know Pandavas are the righteous. They are on the side of Dharma. And that's the reason they give this clue. But why Bhishma chose to be on the side of Duryodhana? Also, there is another detail, another history is because the intention is they want to show to the world, no matter how much strength may be there on the side of adharma, right? No matter how strong the adharma may be, but ultimately dharma is going to win. Whoever is opposite to the Lord, whoever is opposing to the Lord, they will be destroyed. So even Bhishma himself is showing by that example that even Bhishma may be there on the side of adharma against the Supreme Lord, still he will be also destroyed. Dronacharya, they will be destroyed. So that is another reason to show to the world.
But that can be the plan of Lord Krishna, but as a decision from Bhishma Dev, is his way of showing it, or his ignorance at that stage?
It's both way, right? It is the decision, it's the will of the Lord, and the devotee is working to fulfill the will of the Lord. Right? He chose to fulfill the will of the Lord, to act as an instrument for the Lord to show to this world that no matter how powerful the dharma is, ultimately dharma is going to win.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, so thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. We'll end it here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.